So for our kind of practice, we'll have one opponent or one partner practicing the straight punch, right? And your partner practicing intercepting the straight punch with 3 hand techniques. The pak sao, right? 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to use a tan sao into the mix, right? Pak, tan, pop, tan, pop. And then lastly, we're going to do a pak, tan, lap. Pop, tan, lap sao, right? So the 3 hands we're going to focus on is a pak sao, a tan sao, and a lap sao, right? We call these what we call this in Cantonese. They're actually a description, right? It's a describing the intent. So a pak sao basically means a knocking hand, right? Like the way you knock on a door. When something is coming towards your center line, you want to execute your straight line to knock that thing just out of the way enough so you could insert a punch. Right? That's kind of the pak sao, right? So if something is coming at me, I don't need to overly move that out of the way. I just need to bump it enough so I can pass through the punch, right? Right? It's just enough so I can move and inch his hand over so I could apply. So when we practice our pak da, we want to practice with that intention, where if I'm just checking his hands, there's no intention. But if I want to add the pak sao intention, I'm just applying a bit of the pressure to be able to apply and release that hand. The tan sao, in contrast, instead of hitting on this side of the hand, we're intercepting with this side, outside of the hand, right? So a lot of really popular sifus always say it's an over rotation, and it engages the shift, right? If you see here, what we're trying to do is manipulate that much space on the center line. We're hitting something like this and hitting something like this, so that's what we're training for. And the third hand is to be able to build a bridge, right? Build a bridge, and on the same bridging hand, we do a lap. Lap da, yeah. So this is the lap sao. And the intention, again, the lap sao is to take something from the middle, but just move it enough so you could release that attack hand. Okay? So for the
I want to show them that energy if I'm coming forward.
Yeah, so if someone is coming forward, or I want to take away going forward, his forward energy works like this, right? So again, pak da, the intention, if something is coming here, I just need to move it enough. So insert a fist. A tan sao, if someone is coming forward, I just need to insert my hand like a wedge enough to apply a punch. And lastly, the lap da is to completely take away, right? So you have a push and pull movement. And again, what we're practicing when we do these hand drills is how to engage to get to the attack. It's less about the actual attack itself, right? Because getting the attack is pretty straightforward once you could get into the right position, is to be able to manipulate the line once you have that tension in there, right? So if me and Chris were to walk through the drill, it should look like a set of 9 where we're just pulling and pushing each other's center line. Okay, so can you punch me? So the full set here that we practice, first combo starts with 3 punches, right? Pop, pop, pop. Second pop, tan, pop. Last is pop, tan, pop. Right, so I'm blending the 3 hands together. A hand is a hand when you apply the intention. And the intention, again, comes from 1, 2, 3 points, right, to start. Later, as we get more familiar with this movement, there's a Wing Chun engine that breaks down into 6 points. We're focusing on, at first, 1, 2, 3, engaging each hand like this. And then finally, we're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right, to be able to do a full shift, right? If we add up all the spacing that our alignment can provide us, if something is dead on the center, each part of the engagement we have can add a certain subset of space for us to be able to insert our center line, right? That's why we shift. Shifting relative to our stance, right, will be able to allow us to draw power, right? Right. Learn to generate energy within a standing position. And that's why we practice the shift in the stance. So again, this is not to say we fight like this, but when we train, we want to train like this, so we're able to use our 6 kind of points to generate power. Right. Does anyone have any questions? Right. Any questions on the hand drills?
I'm sure there's going to be questions as we go.
Okay, so I'll walk through it again, and then maybe me and Chris, we just walk around and help everyone, right? But the basic hand drill right now is one person. The two people are both in the Wing Chun stance, the training stance. You have one of your partners throwing straight punches in threes. So 1, 2, 3, and then your partner doing the Wing Chun defense is going to start with Pak Sao, pop, 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 and then pop, pop, tan, pop, and then pop, tan, lock. Right, and we'll try to cycle that in. Okay. As we get comfortable, you could switch the hands back and forth, but try to feel out the line efforts. It almost feels like there's something coming at you, and you're just blocking just enough of it so you could catch the next hand, right? And your opponent is constantly throwing on the center line, so you can manipulate that sensitivity. Okay? And then we could do maybe 10, 15 minutes of it, and we'll move on to the next exercise.